I love that supper time song. I've been singing that to my cats for years.
Charlie Brown and I can totally relate.
It's 1 a.m. in the morning and I'm watching Peanuts lore.
Who doesn't love Snoopy?
Our puppies are named for Charlie Brown characters.
So there was this question that had been nagging at me about a cartoon that I watched in 1980.
Patty, do you have the answer to problem 6?
I won't say that I started this channel just to lessen that burden on my brain by offloading it to all of you, but it wasn't not a factor. So I started noodling on a script about it, in between hyper-focusing on Looney Tunes and unboxing Dinobots. This is one of those things I already had an excessive amount of knowledge about, and this was an excuse to share some of that, and to find out how much more there was to know. I was hoping, in the end, to do what I started this channel to do, to share the stuff I love and to get to talk to people about it. I thought, based on the history of this channel, I might get a few hundred views, maybe 1,000, and a small but healthy comment section. On Friday, November 25th, 2022, I released my video on Times Peanuts cartoons broke their own rules. If you watch enough Charlie Brown specials, you'll pick up the rules. A fact I hadn't been paying attention to at the time was that the next day, November 26th, 2022, would have been Charles Schulz's 100th birthday.
Years old on Saturday, and his fans are honoring his legacy at the Schulz Museum.
NEEC celebrates Charles Schulz's 100th
birthday. This was somebody who took his art very serious.
Join the Peanuts Party on NEEC.
The day brought tributes to Schulz from dozens of comic strips, including some creators who were mentored by Schulz early in their careers, and some legacy strips that predate Peanuts. So with Peanuts on everyone's mind, my unplanned act of good timing changed everything for the video, for the channel. And best of all, it turns out I wasn't the only one asking that question.
Oh my god, all these years I remember watching the ice skating special when I was homesick from school one day. And when I heard the adults speaking, I thought that I had way too much medicine in my system.
I remember watching She's a Good Skate, Charlie Brown, and being shocked to hear an adult speak.
I was 5. It blew my mind to hear an adult speak.
It's been the best experience, not only as a YouTuber, but as a Peanuts fan, getting to connect with other Peanuts fans. You all had great things to say about the cartoons, about the merchandise, about the musicals, and about the characters, the strip, and about Sparky himself, Charles Schulz. And as I looked into those things, I kept discovering more things to learn about. Which means I'm going to have enough Peanuts-related material for a lot of future videos. So, I hope you don't have any allergies, because this channel is going to be packed with Peanuts. Quaff a few root beers and snuggle up with a warm puppy, because this is... In that original video, I laid out the 3 rules as I identified them, and a few times they were broken. The video was never meant to be comprehensive, it was just the occasions I remembered.
In honor of our American guests, we will conduct classes both in English and French.
Bring on the soup dish, bring on the cup, bring on the bacon and fill me up, cause it's supper time.
Or in the case of the Van Pelt parents that I learned about while the video was in production. Your comments clued me into so many more times it happened, both in the cartoons and in the comics. And as I looked into those, I kept finding even more. Clearly, I couldn't half-ass it. I was going to have to get into everything. I'm talking 49 TV specials, 4 feature films, and 17,897 comic strips. Watching all those cartoons took more effort than you might realize. Most of them are on DVD at least. Some of the big holiday ones and the movies are on Blu-ray. And then some were only ever released on VHS. And a couple of those were only sold at gas stations.
Just fill up at any participating Shell station and get You're in the Super Bowl, Charlie Brown, for only $4.99.
Quite a few of them have been showing up on Apple TV Plus, remastered in 4K. Since 2020, Apple TV has had the exclusive rights to the classic specials, but it remains to be seen if they make everything available. Because as we'll get into, there are some that may present an issue. For this video, I stuck to the classic Lee Mendelsohn, Bill Melendez era. That means everything after that will be covered separately. I also stuck to the primetime specials and feature films. That leaves the two series, the Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show, and This Is America Charlie Brown, for their own coverage. And that's not even getting into all the commercials these characters have been in.
Singers from Dolly Madison.
So, those original 3 rules I identified were: Snoopy only communicates via nonverbal vocalizations. And on a side note, I wanted to bring this comment to your attention.
In his head, it was probably in Beagle speak, not English.
From now on, I'm only referring to those Bill Melendez vocalizations as Beagle speak. Anyway, as so many of you pointed out,
He's not actually speaking, it's just his inner monologue.
Snoopy never speaks. He's internally monologuing. That's not speech.
and I mean so many.
Technically, the
Snoopy's
scene
not
happened
really
inside
speaking,
Snoopy's
Notice
head.
his mouth never
He danced around
moves.
while
It's
the
just to make
cartoon
that
broadcast
voice
his thoughts
is
and
just the
feelings.
inner monologue.
Don't know
being
if
voiced
I
out loud.
consider hearing Snoopy's
His mouth
thoughts
isn't moving.
as him
It
speaking.
is when he
I
I
don't
don't
vocalizes.
mean to be too picky. It's a fun video.
That means that no voice has been put to the thought balloons that represent Snoopy's inner monologue. Until you heard a voice representing Snoopy's inner monologue.
But something seems to be missing. In my opinion, that was exactly what was needed.
You never see adults.
You want me to pound the erasers? Yes, Miss Othmar.
Until you see adults all over the place. And when adults are present, you only hear them as a muted trombone.
The answer is 2.
Except when you hear their voices quite clearly.
In the front and rear sections, the film Laughing Bunnies will be shown, plus Naughty Marietta in the center section.
So long, Chuck. I'm going to the center section.
What started this whole fixation, that original question, was watching She's a Good Skate, Charlie Brown in 1980, and hearing multiple adult voices.
Patty, do you have the answer to problem 6? Would you like to see some polyester double knit?
Not only was it a relief to know I'm not the only one who caught that, it was a relief to a lot of you as well.
I noticed that too when I first saw the special. I thought, what?
I straight up thought I imagined the teacher talking. Thanks for confirming that.
I had thought that She's a Good Skate and Bon Voyage, both from 1980, were the first times you heard adult voices. But I actually found 3 instances from before that. The first one happened in Play It Again, Charlie Brown, from 1971. But it doesn't represent a character speaking. Let me explain. Schroeder gets recruited to provide the entertainment for a big PTA event.
You have been signed up to play for the PTA benefit show.
Of course, he's planning to play Beethoven, but then we find out
that Beethoven stuff is out. This is going to be a rock concert.
Rock? Me? Play rock?
Which is a very Charles Schulz conflict. Schroeder makes a good faith effort, and who knew these guys had such a tight sound?
I've sold out.
But ultimately, he remains true to his principles.
There comes a time when we have to take a stand. A person just has to do the things he believes in. I'm sorry, Patricia.
Respect. But that does mean...
The PTA is left without a program.
I mean, you have a good trio right there, but whatever. Instead, Lucy comes through in the clutch.
Meeting of the Coffee Lane School PTA will please come to order.
PTA programs also come in spray canned.
Now, because it's not clear, because it makes no damn sense, that voice is being sprayed out of that spray can.
Will the treasurer please give her report?
That's the Deus Ex Machina that saves the PTA meeting after Schroeder refuses to play rock and roll. Apparently, sound just comes in spray cans in the world of Peanuts. Let's move on. The next instance was from the 1977 feature film. That's the one where the kids go to camp and are sent on a harrowing river race. Like Deliverance, but for kids.
What are you here for, Brown? Have you come to camp to try to be a man?
After surviving raging rocks and a falling river, the boys stop to recover and get some exposition.
And now the news about the big storm that hit this area yesterday. Heavy rains have caused flash flooding in the backcountry. Travelers' advisories call for extreme caution for all travelers.
And later, after an unexpected snowstorm,
The worst storm of the past decade has struck the high mountains. Travelers in the high country should put on chains immediately.
that announcer was played by Fred Van Amberg, who was a fixture of San Francisco TV news.
Good evening, here's what's happening. Patricia Hearst will not go free tonight.
After that came You're the Greatest, Charlie Brown, from 1979. Here's the setup.
We have somebody from our school entered in every event for the Junior Olympics, except for the decathlon.
Boy, who would be that dumb to want to enter the decathlon?
Hi, everybody.
So the special is mostly about Charlie Brown's performance anxiety as he trains for the decathlon.
Maybe I'm not suited for this event.
Sure you are. Get out there now.
Which he pronounces like Marlon Brando pronouncing Krypton.
The decathlon? Me in the decathlon?
Neither I nor my wife leave Krypton.
And at the big decathlon, we get some helpful exposition from this sports announcer.
Decathlon contestants to the 100-meter dash, please.
He's played by Scott Beach, who was also heard in Bon Voyage.
Can you help us with the menu?
A cheddar and pickle sandwich is rather top O. What be your pleasure, mate?
And she's a good skate.
Next contestant, Miss Peppermint Patty.
And if his voice sounds familiar, he's been in a few other things.
The next contestant in the great Tri-County Pie Eat, young Master David Hogan.
Mr. Hillard, you've been able to fool a lot of people into believing that you're a 60-year-old woman.
The Death Star plans are not in the main computer.
Just like that radio announcer, something I realized in my research was that when it comes to sporting events, adult characters like umpires and sports announcers are basically exempt from the no adults rule. And another kind of announcer,
Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Miss Polly and her poodles.
that's from Life is a Circus, Charlie Brown, which was the next special after She's a Good Skate. That was the first time Snoopy was ready to chuck everything and run off with a French poodle. But it wasn't the last, and I get it. The 1990 special, Why Charlie Brown Why, used the trombone for interactions with a nurse, whose silhouette we saw. But some adult voices were used for hospital ambience, shouting out members of the crew. Why Charlie Brown Why was more on the dramatic side, with Linus becoming friends with a girl named Janice.
I love the swings. You're the best swing pusher in the school, Linus.
But Janice has been getting a lot of bruises, and after seeing the school nurse,
They've done lots of tests on me. They found out that I have leukemia.
in 1985, Sylvia Cook, a nurse from California, wrote to Charles Schulz suggesting he do an educational film to teach kids about cancer. Schulz had never taken on such a serious subject with the characters, but he saw merit to the idea, and the story was expanded from an educational short to a full half hour, as well as a book written and drawn by Schulz himself. Cook and the American Cancer Society worked closely with Schulz to help kids understand the illness.
Leukemia cells live way deep inside your bones, so they stick another needle right here, into the bone, and take some bone marrow out.
The special addresses what questions they may have.
How can they just tell you have cancer?
Are you going to die?
Good grief, Charlie Brown. What kind of question is that?
What treatments patients go through.
They also hooked me up to this IV. That's how I get my chemotherapy.
That must really hurt.
No, but it makes my hair fall out and it makes me sick to my stomach.
And it addresses stigmas and misconceptions.
Hey, look at this, a baldy!
Janice has got leukemia, cementhead! You touched her? And now you're handing me a glass of milk? You can't catch it from somebody like a cold or the flu. Well, anyway, take this milk back. I don't want it. No, thank you. I don't want to catch your crabbiness.
They even take the time to show what it's like for the family.
We have to be so careful around her. Actually, she's become a real nuisance. You don't really mean that, do you? I guess not. It's just that we feel a little left out lately since Janice got sick.
The special also has some of the most beautiful art and direction you'll find in a Peanuts cartoon. I watched this one 3 times in a row capturing clips, and this final scene got me every damn time.
You're in the Super Bowl, Charlie Brown. An adult sports announcer can be heard.
So, you're in the Super Bowl, Charlie Brown. Or as I call it, YITS. You know how the best Peanuts cartoons put a smile on your face while capturing the melancholy undercurrent that makes Peanuts timeless? This special is mainly birds playing football against other animals.
And Grabowski grabs it.
Incidentally, the amount of information on the Peanuts wiki about the bison in this special and their position within the Peanuts franchise is frankly inspirational. So the first voice we hear, after that bit of Beagle speak, is another announcer.
Hey there, sports fans. Here's the world-famous coach just before the big game that will decide the Eastern Division champs of the AFL. That's the Animal Football League.
And these play-by-plays are honestly one of the best parts of the special.
He hands off to Kowalski, and look at him go, leaving a torrent of truculent tabbies in his wake.
There is a bit of a plot in there, with Charlie Brown and the gang entering a punt, pass, and kick contest for a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Whoever wins here gets a chance to be in the finals at the Super Bowl. Here, let's see that. Arg!
So he's not actually in the Super Bowl. So the title is a lie. To add the slightest bit of tension, Charlie Brown and Linus get all Chandler and Joey when they meet a girl.
My name is Melody. I've been watching you.
From there, things get real repetitive. You have more games with the birds.
And how? Down he goes in a flurry of feathers as those birds continue to hound the dogs.
You have some kicking. A lot of passing. And actually not that much punting. I did get a kick out of this kid, who took his job very seriously.
70 feet and 8 inches!
And got to throw a bit of sass.
She booted it to Kingdom Come! She booted it 72 feet and 8 inches!
So Melody wins it.
Watch me on TV! I'll be at the Super Bowl!
And could Linus be a poorer sport about it?
I lost, Charlie Brown, I lost! I was in love with that girl.
This special is not likely to turn up on Apple TV.
And look at that, the bison are completely buffaloed.
As the title implies, YITS makes heavy use of NFL imagery, from the name Super Bowl, to the NFL logo, to the kids wearing actual team logos. The special occupies a weird place in Peanuts history. It was the only Peanuts cartoon to air on NBC instead of CBS. It only aired once. It was released to VHS, which was only sold at Shell gas stations.
The best thing about having your own copy of the new Peanuts video is watching your favorite parts over and over. Arg!
Jealous? Now you are. So, being basically just a commercial for big football, YITS would seem completely forgettable. But YITS is notable for another reason. That, just as this video was almost finished, suddenly became very relevant.
Mr. Franklin Armstrong.
I'm Franklin Armstrong. My name is Charlie Brown.
We'll get into that in the next video, out soon. Finally, this isn't quite adult voices, but the 1979 documentary special Happy Birthday, Charlie Brown caught up with Peter Robbins, the original voice of Charlie Brown, and Sally Dreyer, the original Violet. Here they are, now in their early 20s, revisiting some dialogue with Phyllis George.
I don't know, Phyllis. Christmas is coming, but I'm not happy. I don't feel the way I'm supposed to feel. I like sending Christmas cards and getting Christmas presents and all that, but I'm still not happy. I always end up feeling depressed.
You're still a blockhead, Charlie Brown.
Good grief.
That covers all the times I could find that you heard adult voices in Peanuts cartoons. As for how you felt about it, opinions were mixed, but there was a clear trend.
I prefer actual voices
I
as
think
opposed to the
it's
music
funny
ones.
that wah 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 is normal and real words are weird.
The wah 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 wah.
I would cringe whenever I saw or heard adults in a Peanuts cartoon.
It was like they
good
thought
grief.
kids had no imagination.
I do
and
consider
had to have
adults
everything
actually
spelled out
speaking
for them.
as a heretical
Adults
abomination.
talking doesn't sound right.
It always weirded me out when I
Hearing
suddenly
the
heard
adult
voices.
voice was so weird.
Why is Snoopy talking more acceptable to me than adults
Unnerving to hear adults.
It felt just so wrong.
My entire life was a lie.
Here's what Lee Mendelson had to say about it.
When we went to Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown, we really needed to, experiment with some adults. And once again, Charles Schulz never stood pat. Even if we were successful in not using adults, it was worth the risk of trying to use adults, and it worked out very well.
Once that door was open, you heard and saw adults a lot more in the cartoons, even as you saw less of them in the strips. Next time, we're going to get into the times you told me about where we saw adults.
I would like to see the mayor, please. Do you have an appointment?
And after that,
oh, it's supper time, very best time of day.
We'll look at more times Snoopy spoke.
Technically, the
Snoopy's
singing
not
happened
really
inside.
speaking.
As I was saying, after that, we'll look at more rules that you reminded me about. Now, before we go, a couple of you brought up something very important.
Dude, I need the music that you used throughout this video. So much good jazz.
So much good jazz, right? Let's take a moment to shout out the talented musicians who allow creators on YouTube to use their music. This is Smokey's Lounge by Track Tribe. Here's their channel, where they've been providing copyright-free music for YouTubers since 2015. And I found out while researching this, they get used a lot to test headphones on this channel, DankPods, that resurrects dead MP3 players, for funsies. And that is the kind of deeply geeky hobby I love to see. The rest of the music was by a channel called E's Jammy Jams. I couldn't find out much about this person or persons, but they have a ton of fantastic jazz tracks, with more than a little of Vince Guaraldi's timeless influence. They have originals, and jazz impressions of some public domain standards. I also used some of their stuff in my holiday video. They get used a lot here on YouTube because their stuff is distinctive and it's good. And I love that I get to introduce people to their music.
I need to keep how the song is song name.
Glad I could help. Supporting creators is what keeps YouTube vital. So if you like the music, be sure to let them know by liking and subscribing. And one more artist you heard in this video was Jose Gonzalez. This Christmas, I saw the Jose Gonzalez Trio in concert, playing the soundtrack from A Charlie Brown Christmas. I want to thank Jose for letting me use his original composition, Linus and Juicy. From the album of the same name. He also has an album of jazz interpretations of Beatles songs. And if he does an album of John Williams movie themes, I'll know he's been spying on me. Still here? Good. Here's the deal. The YouTube analytics tell me that while my videos get a decent number of views, not everybody watches to the end. So for sticking around, I want to do something for you. This summer I went to an estate sale. Or I should say, sales. This house had so much stuff that they ended up having 5 sales in all. Every time they would unlock a little more of the map. And among the many things this family collected was a lot of vintage Peanuts memorabilia. I went a little buck wild. I've selected the stuff I'll be keeping for myself. The rest of it, you want it? If you do, share this video on Twitter and tag me at Cartoon Cynic. I'll pick 5 winners at random to receive an item of their choice. Details are in the video description. Good luck! Bye, Dolly Madison!
Our puppies are named for Charlie Brown characters.